Well, thanks so much for taking the time to join us on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself for the audience so that they can get a chance to meet you officially?
Okay. My name's Bridget, and I'm on the IDA Student Empowerment Panel.
Very cool. And are you done with school? Are you still in school right now?
I'm done with school.
Done with school.
I still have one more class to work on, but I'm done with school.
Gotcha. Well, let's start with your story. Can you tell us about like when you found out that you were dyslexic?
Yeah. So I found out I was dyslexic in seventh grade, and it was after my sister was diagnosed. And so my parents realized that after like learning about what it was, that I probably had it too.
So okay, so you have a sibling that has it, and
Yeah.
then oh, look at this already. Bridget helped my kiddo join the empowerment panel. She and her family have been so kind and awesome. So that's really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. Um, well, what kind of challenges were you having? Like where did you find school like most challenging?
Yeah. So I had like a hard time with like keeping up with the pace of everyone else, especially in reading. Um, and um, in like there was, like there were like the speed math tests and things like that that I wasn't able to do as well as everyone else, and everything just took so much longer for me.
Um, what was do you think time's the biggest issue? I just remember that for myself. That was the biggest struggle for me is like never feeling like I had enough time to get through the math test or the time test that they had
Hmm.
have it. And through my other conversations that we've had on this weekly chat, it just seems like time has been the biggest issue. Do you think is that kind of what you're
Yeah.
finding too?
Yeah.
What kind of things have you found to be like helpful in school?
So at school, I have a scheduled study hall, and being able to use my accommodations, such as my laptop and iPad, and just like being allowed to use my assistive technology.
So I want to touch on this for a minute because it seems like the assisted technology is such a big thing and so helpful as you described. Were you awkward or was it uncomfortable to bring that out while you were in the class, or have you found it to be just it's so beneficial that you kind of bypass that part?
So like in middle school, I started using like my iPad in math class, and it was kind of weird at first. Like people like looked at me a little funny, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had my iPad at school." And then they just got over it, and it was over. And in high school, everyone like most people use laptops and stuff in class, so it's completely normal.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so what did do you have any advice that you would give students that are kind of getting into the assisted technology? Um, and
Yeah. So like just like trying a bunch of different things, and not all of them are gonna work for you, and you'll like more things better than others. But just like being able to try out a bunch of different apps and um, different uses.
and what are some of the apps that you found the most helpful?
I really like the app Notability. I use it on my iPad, and I use that. Like my teachers will send me the Google Slides before we have a lecture in class, so I have a copy of the notes and I can write on them. And there's a calculator app that I can draw with my finger instead of typing it into the calculator. And it's called the HW app. It's like a planner, which is super helpful.
Very cool. Um, all right, so if you're just joining, we're with the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch, and we're going through Bridget's story right now. And she's talked about the challenges of school using assisted technology. So drop us a line if you have any questions. We'll be happy to answer. But I want to talk to you about something that you did on a creative flow. Uh, you created a poem, and
Yeah.
I wonder, I wonder if you could talk about it for a minute and what that meant to you.
Yeah, so I wrote a poem for an English class. It was like an assignment I had, and to write about like a group that I was part of. And so I like chose like dyslexia, and like I read it to my class and everything. And so it it was like shared to like 50,000 people on Facebook, and my principal put it in the newsletter, and it was read at the national conference and things like that. And so it was really like special to be able to like share with like the community and everything like that.
What does it mean to you on that note? Just like because you've seen kids connect to that, or you've seen students connect to that poem,
Mm-hmm.
and that it resonates with everybody, and it talks about the challenges that we all face, and that we are all not alone in this battle. What does that mean to you when you see people kind of connecting to that?
Well, it's like it's exactly like what it is, like you're not alone, and there's other people out there that have the same struggles, and it's nice to be able to meet some of those people, and be able to laugh about it together and everything like that, and share like what's helped us, and just try and have a better like experience for all of us.
Uh, Danielle on the line said she loves her poem. Shelby on the line says your poem is so powerful. So you should be very proud of that. So speaking of school, like what are your favorite classes? Like what do you enjoy about school?
So my favorite classes this last year were AP Biology and AP Art. Um, AP Biology was really fun because it was really challenging, and um, I worked really hard on it, and it was really fun doing all the different labs and being able to connect what we're like lecturing about to actually seeing it. And art, I've always like really enjoyed art, and both of these teachers were super like helpful and really accommodating to whatever I needed, and that was really great. And in art, I ended up winning a couple gold keys and like honorable mentions for like an art competition.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
What
I have one.
yeah, can you share it? Oh my gosh. So can you tell the
It's
yeah, can you explain this piece to the audience?
yeah, so I carved it into a block of wood and then put it into a printing press, and so it was printed onto the paper.
So is art your outlet, like whether it be poetry or other, or
Yeah,
yeah, is that your
yeah, I'd say it's art, like in like kind of like school, and this year I my like concentration for AP art was like abstract faces and like different like parts of like your identity and things like that. So it was really fun to do that.
well, it is impressive work, and thank you so much for sharing it with the audience, because on the line right now people are just ecstatic. Danielle, wow, three exclamation points, gorgeous piece. Thank you so much for the support on the line. I know we talked about your challenges, but can you maybe dive into a little bit of your past time and experience, and talk about maybe a time that wasn't so good? We have a lot of students on the line that I think struggle, and I think hearing what we deal with being dyslexics is important. So can you maybe dive into that a little bit deeper for us?
Yeah, so like before I knew I had dyslexia, being like called on in class was like my worst nightmare. And so now I have an accommodation. They're not allowed to call on me in class unless I raise my hand. And so, it just kind of like alleviates that anxiety for that thing. And also in English classes, they like didn't give me access to audiobooks for reading. And so I was just supposed to sit there and read the book, and that didn't usually work out very well. And also, there was this one time my substitute teacher wouldn't let me go to the testing center to take my test. And so after that experience, I had to carry around my 504 plan with me everywhere.
It's like your meal ticket there with the fashion
Yeah.
for. Oh, I empathize with you on so many levels and we can smile about it because I've been in the classroom and totally can recognize that experience. So my heart just feels for you on situations like that because I know what it's like to be in that frozen state. What what would be helpful for teachers to know? What would you like teachers to know or educators to know about dyslexia and how they can help students?
Well, I wish my teachers knew that I'm just as smart as everyone else in the classroom, and that I might not be able to show it on a essay test or multiple choice quiz, but that I am really smart and that there's other ways for me to, show that.
Yeah, so often, and I hear these presentations, one of them in which your poem was read, and you could just see the tears in educators' eyes because I think they come to that realization. And it's it is really powerful that they know that students with dyslexia, it doesn't affect our IQs. It's just simply
Hmm.
a reading challenge or a math challenge or dyspraxia or some sort of system, but it doesn't. The IQ and the intelligence and the ability to contribute is still there. So it's finding that process. So I appreciate you touching on that. All right,
Hmm.
let's jump. We've talked about some serious matters. What do you do for fun? Like, what's where do you get relaxation?
Well, I like to spend time with my dog, Charlie. And I really am into like fashion and clothing and things like that. And I also play sports. I'm on a varsity rowing team, and I play volleyball also.
Okay, so dual sport athlete, time with the dog. I'm
Yeah.
gonna press you a little bit though. You're not just a regular athlete here. Like, I mean, you're on the varsity level. Can you tell the audience what's next for you?
Yeah, so I have been recruited to row at the University of Alabama, so I have my college plans already set, and I'm super excited about that.
Well, that is awesome. I know that everybody within the organization, and I'm sure people that have heard you talk today are rooting for you all the way. That's really impressive to earn a scholarship going into your senior year. So the pressure can be off and you can go enjoy that. So we wish you congratulations. If you're on the line and have questions, we're talking to Bridget. Um, oh, here we go. I'm here with my mom, 30-year-old elementary school teacher, and she never had to think about your lives. So um, yeah, so I think people can really relate to this conversation. Um, but yeah, just drop us a line. We're here, and we're really excited for your plans. What do you have a final word? I know you kind of mentioned educators. What message do you have for students out there that are kind of battling through this?
Well, you just have to, learn to advocate for yourself, and once you do that and get the accommodations that you need, um, it becomes a lot easier, and it's easier because you're like, only leveling the playing field, and you're able to, show what you're capable of.
Um, yeah, I think everyone's hoping for improvement. I think everyone feels your passion towards helping students. And Bridget, we are so happy for you, and really just thankful for the advocacy work that you're doing, and just wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Bye bye.